Hi everybody, it's Sally here. I was just doing a little bit of sample knitting on my mid-gauge machine this morning to see if it would knit some Aran weight yarn without any issue, which it does, and also to practice doing a bit of edging in garter stitch, which of course requires reforming on this kind of machine. And I came across a little tip that I thought I would pass on. If you look at most instructions for hand reforming garter stitch, you'll see that you obviously have to drop the stitch that's on the needles in that row down one and pick up the loop of the stitch beneath it to relatch it back up. Now, the implication from these diagrams is that you put your hook through the top of the loop of the stitch on the row down to relatch it, whereas I've actually found that if you do that and then you drop that stitch, you actually then have to take your hook out of the stitch below it to unravel it, which seems a little bit awkward, and also you're more likely to actually drop the stitch itself if you do it that way. So what I do is, instead of catching the top of the loop here, I go into the side of it here. I hope you can see that on this diagram. So and I'll demonstrate it in a minute if I can do it with the camera in the way. It's a little bit awkward, but rather than hooking up that part of the stitch, I'm hooking up the side of it, and then you can just drop it and relatch it without too much difficulty. So I'll just do 4 stitches on the side of this knitting. So instead of going in like that, which is what the instructions are telling you to do, I go in like this on the side of it, and then I can quite happily drop that stitch, unravel it, relatch it, and rehook it. Now, as I open the latch, as I pull the needle forward, then I can just hook that back into its position. So again, on this one, instead of going in through here, I'm going in through here, and on the side, drop, unravel, and relatch it back up. So I'll just show you by going through the top what happens. If I go through the top and drop it, I can't unravel the stitch. It's in the wrong place. It's come through underneath the hook instead of behind it. So you then have to go like that, re-pick it up and latch it, and off you go, which is awkward. And as I say, it runs the, as you can see, awkward, and then runs the risk of you actually dropping the entire stitch. So I thought I would just pass on this little hint. Even on the end stitch, pick it up on the side. So this yarn is a bit hairy on the side. Drop it, relatch, and put it back on the needle. Comme ça. And then just knit across. And the same again. So as my 4th stitch, go into the side, drop it, relatch, and hook back onto the needle. So none of these reform stitch processes are the speediest things in the world, but I suppose for a little edge on a cardigan or something, it might not be too tedious to do, instead of hand knitting it afterwards. And hooking on the side is definitely much easier than going through the top of the loop. And it's sort of, actually, when you look at the stitch construction, it's quite logical really as to the path of the yarn. But I couldn't really work out why the instruction books always keep telling you to go through, or indicate you should go through the top of the loop. So anyway, I hope that that little tip proves useful. A little sample I did earlier. Whoops, wrong side. So it's what your reformed garter stitch comes out looking like. Useful on a cardigan band or on the edge of a blanket or something like that. So, little tip to make it easier to do a relatch garter.